L.A. gets a knock for not being a sports city.
It's not true, though. It's not true.
It is not.
Because it's all the showbiz people who come in here who aren't from here and don't hang out with, like, one of my favorite people to meet out here is a native person from Los Angeles, and they can talk Tom Lasorda and Ron Say and Dusty Baker and Steve Garvey, Fernando Valenzuela. I love talking to people like that, people who talk, Wendell Tyler and all those, Pat Hayden, Vince Ferragamo, quarterback controversy. I love meeting people like that. Had a few cool neighbors out here that are like that. Old school Laker fans telling me what it was like to be at the Fabulous Forum watching the Showtime Lakers. It sounded amazing.
It's interesting. When I think I asked you this before, you're a performer, and Joey and I have talked about this. I usually defend the athlete over the owner, right? And so when Brady left the system and went to Tampa and won, I'm like, that's good for the performer. He means more than the system. You're a performer. I'd root for you over Caesars. Nothing against Caesars. Nothing against MG. But I'm rooting for the guy to.
Yeah, but no Caesars. I'm standing out in a parking lot. I'm standing in the sand in the desert. We both need each other.
Okay. Do you lean a little Boston of you look at Tom and go, he kind of stuck it to the system. The guy beat the system.
Oh, this is such a Real Housewife question. Is his victory somebody else's defeat?
Yeah.
No, I mean, what you had was two of the greatest of all time with the combination of, Brady and Belichick. I mean, Bill Belichick, as much as he annoys you guys in the press because he won't give you any quotes, is the modern day Paul Brown. He just is. The man has 8 Super Bowl rings. He shut down John Elway and the Fun Bunch, Jim Kelly, the Run and Gun, Kurt Warner, greatest show on turf. He shut down 3 of the greatest offenses of all time within 15 years to go 3-0 in Super Bowls. He won 6 in New England, 2 with the Giants. I mean, the guy, he owned Peyton Manning and the Colts to the point they had to get their owner on the competition committee to change the rules of how you could cover receivers, and then they had to steal our offense to win a Super Bowl. I mean, every time the guy turns around, it's like watching Dukes of Hazzard. Somebody's putting a phony a fire hydrant next to him, trying to say he's doing something while they all steal from him. He's unbelievable, and Tom Brady is without a doubt. I think he's, it's like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, you were watching the second coming of Paul Brown and Otto Graham. And to watch them dominate the league the way those two guys did and change the league, like 100 years into the league or 80 years into the league, depending on when you think the whole thing started, or even just the Super Bowl era, to see somebody to have the success that they did is incredible.
By the way, it's funny. You seem so reasonable. Our Patriot fans, like, it's so funny. With the Red Sox, it doesn't matter how great you are.
I just love how you go into questions.
Okay. So just
you seem so reasonable. Okay, what unreasonable Boston person are you going to trash this time?
Okay. So with the Red
Sox, we're discussing politics.
Well, let me finish here. Okay. When the Red Sox, no matter how great you are.
Whatever you think we do there.
No matter how great a Red Sox you are, when you leave, you get trashed by ownership. It doesn't matter. Manny, Schilling, it doesn't matter. No more. But Patriot fans are okay rooting for Tom. It's like 2 different fan bases. The Red Sox fans, the minute you leave...
They're the same people. It's the same city. Do you think they ship out all the Patriots fans during baseball season? They're the same people. And you're picking no, we still love... when Nomar came back, are you kidding me? He got such a standing ovation, you almost started crying. It just kept going and going and going. You're really just, you hate Boston. I get it. You hate Boston, and you're. I don't know what your deal is. I don't know what happened to you when you went to Boston. I don't know what happened. Okay, but I am not their representative. I left more than a quarter of a century ago. I'm sorry you went on the Freedom Trail and you didn't get to meet Paul Revere or whatever they promised you. But I've never met an athlete, I don't know, in modern times, they seem to have a good time. There's definitely, I don't know if you want to, if I was you, I would go the racial issue, if that's what you want to do. for some reason to help promote my tour. You just want to trash the town that I'm from. I don't understand. I don't understand the whole point of this.
Well, by the way, you haven't been on the road in a while, right? Is it the pandemic for a comic? You just worked. I mean, seriously, like for the last year.
I had a lot of fun during these pandemic shows as I got to awaken comedy muscles that had been dormant forever. It's like I picked up a sport I stopped playing a while ago, which is basically learning how to work a hell room again. Because when you're coming up and nobody knows who you are, I mean, Boston's definitely a sports fan because I watched the back of their heads during the first 4 years of my career, watching a game on TV as I stood in the corner trying to do my jokes. And as weird as it is, you actually learned how to do those rooms, learned how to get people to turn around, how to deliver your punchlines during commercial breaks, whatever you did. But, once you start selling tickets, you get a little soft as a comic where it goes from, I have to go on stage and get these people to now they're mine to lose. But, standing in a parking lot and everybody's sitting in cars, it kind of levels the playing field. So I've had a great time. I mean, I want things to come back. Hopefully people will get the vaccination. I don't know. I'm one of these weird people where I get my my medical advice from doctors rather than going on the internet.
Yeah, Joey and I say that. Suddenly in America, we had 38 million epidemiologists on the internet. We don't know what happened. Everybody suddenly became my doctor.
Dude, the internet is the last place to get information. The internet is grad school for morons. You literally have morons teaching morons. And I'm a moron. All right. But I am smart enough to know that I'm a moron. So I listen to, if I have plumbing problems, I talk to a plumber. I don't talk to an accountant. And if I have medical issues, I talk to a doctor. I do not talk to, and more importantly, a doctor who is gainfully employed by a credible hospital, not some lunatic who got booted out of a hospital, which I don't know how you do that. What were you sewing heads together? I don't know what that is. But if all of a sudden you're on the internet,
Bill Burr, 21-date tour starting July 2nd at the Cosmopolitan. We're out of time. He was annoyed with me. So's America most of the time.
I was, and I love you, Colin. One of my favorite things is coming on this show. And I have no problem with Los Angeles. I just wish someday you could get over whatever your issue was with Boston. I'm sorry. We had a great 2-decade run, Look, the Lakers are going to buy another one this year. I was hoping you were going to get to the whole, the Celtics going to win it this year. I was hoping you were going to get to that question.
Well, they're not. So why waste your time? I mean, that's what it really...
Well, you know what? They're not. They absolutely aren't. But you know what the problem is? The problem with the NBA...
I got 10 seconds.
Is they forgot about competition. You're not watching competition. It's night of too many stars. When the All-Star game becomes Team LeBron against Team KD, and they're like, this is what the finals are going to be, why watch?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.